Hello and welcome to the Canadian Physiotherapy Association's 7th learning module on the use of the Caseload Management Planning Tool, or CMPT, Excel workbook. This Excel workbook was developed by the Canadian Physiotherapy Association and can be found on our website at www.physiotherapy.ca. So what we've done so far is gone through Step 1, Steps 2A and B, Step 2C, and we're now moving on to Step 3, which is matching available human resources to our client needs. What this page gives you is at-a-glance information about how many patients you expect to have at each level, and that's found right here under Anticipated Available Caseload. This is based on information that you inputted back at Step 2A, right here. You also get information about the estimated total time required for interventions at each level, and that's found right here. And you get the predicted surplus or deficit of available staff time for treating the client caseload based on the information that you have entered already, and that's found right here. So as you can see with our example, there's a deficit of 15 hours. And what this means is that our staff is short on time and the predicted patient needs are higher than the existing human resources. If we continue to look at our example with 2 physiotherapists on staff, one working full-time hours and one working part-time hours, we can see that a deficit of 15 hours should be addressed. So what we can do is perhaps look to see whether there are any interventions that these physiotherapists that are performing that are cross-disciplinary. So for instance, transfer training. Now, if we find this is the case, and we also know that another discipline on the service, for instance, the occupational therapists, have a surplus of time, then perhaps some of these activities can be reallocated to those other healthcare professionals. Or do we need to advocate for more staff? If the deficit is small, you might just want to monitor it in case the discrepancy gets worse over time. But since the CMPT asks us to consider the average intervention time for all clients at a given complexity level, it's not uncommon to have a small remainder in this area right here. Remainders of plus or minus 5 at this step should be considered negligible, and they'll tend to eliminate themselves in actual practice as a result of small variations in individual client treatment time requirements. So what you're aiming for is a difference approaching 0 right here. This indicates that the existing resources are well balanced to meet your existing client needs. If you find yourself with a high number of surplus hours as a remainder, you could look at solutions like involving the staff in activities such as education or research or documentation, or perhaps taking on more patients with your existing staff. Tracking this kind of information will support an informed decision-making process when looking at staffing needs. As a manager, you'll be able to advocate for additional staff with demonstrated capacity versus needs information. You will know if your department or service can take on more patients, so for instance, add more beds or vie for a new contract, etc., with your existing staff, or whether you'll need to advocate for additional staff. The other piece that this worksheet has is this section right here. And as you can see, the clinician names and their total available hours for human resources time is carried over onto this worksheet. And what you can do as a manager is begin to assign an appropriate caseload mix to your therapists on staff. So looking at our caseload of 20 level 2 clients, 10 level 3 clients, 10 level 4, 10 level 5 clients over the course of a 4-week period, you can begin assigning these clients to your therapists. And how you do that is you just enter the number of clients you'd like to assign to each therapist, and you can see what happens. We've taken 10 clients from level 2, moved them to Carol. We can see that her hours reduce, and the number of available clients remaining reduces as well. So let's assign the other 10 level 2 clients to our other therapist. And you can see that we now no longer have level 2 clients to assign, and the time is counting down from the therapist's available human resources time. So that is Step 3 of the Caseload Management Planning Tool Excel workbook.